Warning, this podcast contains spoilers. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of the As Seen on TV podcast for the originals, Season 3, Episode 22, Season Finale.
Season finale.
The Bloody Crown. I'm your host Mike, and joining me is Nikki.
Hi.
And Dom. And Kim.
Hi.
Hi. So... I don't know how I feel about this episode. That's why there was the long silence.
You're supposed to ask us first while you kind of collect your thoughts, and then tell us what you think about the episode.
So, guys, what do you think about the episode?
I think it was a slow burn of inevitability. We knew this was going to happen. I mean, not exactly, but
no,
we knew.
Yeah.
We knew Klaus was going away for 3 years.
Yes, at a minimum.
Yeah.
Yes.
And now we know why and how.
You know, and that's thanks to Vampire Diaries.
Yeah.
Because this was never mentioned once on the originals. This was only mentioned on the Vampire Diaries that Klaus had disappeared. So
we, as the viewer, knew something was coming.
Yeah.
But we didn't know that everyone was going to be disappearing.
And it's not just the viewer, too, because if you don't watch the Vampire Diaries, you didn't know about this.
Okay, we, as the extended universe viewer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about it for a few weeks now on this. You know, we know something's going to happen to Klaus. He's going to fuck off, or he's going to die, or be thrown into another dimension, or something.
Die never came to my mind. That was never ever in the forefront or in the very back of my mind. I knew they weren't going to kill Klaus off because Klaus is pretty much this show.
I started to lean when they started. I mean, obviously, well, as we get to do it, the trial or whatever. I was thinking he's gonna be banished or some shit.
Even
So
that.
I started to lean in that direction a little bit.
All I know is that when Cole got bit, this is even before B's friend over there, I forgot his name, Elijah. Before Elijah gets, bit, this is just Cole. I screamed and I said, if Cole fucking dies this episode, I am never watching this show again.
I didn't have the exact extreme reaction Dom had, but I did have a pretty strong reaction of, wow, that really sucks. I was just starting to like having Cole around.
I was dancing. I was like, oh, yeah.
And then Elijah got bit, and my reaction went full on what Dom had.
Yes, and then I was done.
When Elijah got bit, tables got flipped.
No. See, when Cole got bit, I flipped because Cole's been expendable since the Vampire Diaries. He's died like 3 times now. Okay. When Elijah got bit, I felt relieved.
Because then Cole wasn't going to die, because they're going to figure out how to fix both of them
Exactly.
because they both have the same ailment.
There's no way that they're going to kill off Elijah. Daniel Gillies has not expressed any interest in leaving the show at all in any way, shape, or form. It's not like Rebecca, where we knew, Claire Holt was, getting sick of playing the role. She wanted to go pursue other acting career, different things like that. We knew all this,
Sounds a lot like what Nina Dobrev said.
Yeah, except Claire's actually been doing it. Claire's been in other series, and I think Nina's in like 2 movies. So that's kind of a big deal. Whatever, it's 2 movies. It's not 2 more TV series or anything like that. But I don't think any of those actually came out yet. One of them may have. The other's in post-production. Anyway, the point is, as soon as Elijah was bit, I was just like, oh, there's hope for Cole. I'm happy now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where that went.
I mean,
I was very unhappy with that. I was like, oh god.
Dom mentioned Rebecca and Claire Holt, who comes back for the finales at least, and the openers and some episodes thrown in between. Well, she just pops in immediately, out of friggin' nowhere. And
where did we last leave her? I don't even remember anymore.
She was getting daggered. somebody went to go undagger her. I can't remember who it was,
Haley.
but it was mentioned.
Haley.
Yes, Haley. It was mentioned last episode that she was gonna go take the dagger out.
Hmm.
Right.
And I very, very faintly remember the mark on her arm. What was that all about?
That was a curse from one of... Was it one of the Strix witches?
Yes.
I believe... Or one of the... They were trying...
It was the coven, one of the coven witches.
Yeah, and it basically would just drive her utterly insane. Make
It
her
was
go...
that one off blonde witch, wasn't it? The one that we got introduced to, and she died later on in the episode. She
In the
seemed
pool?
really
No, I don't think it was
Oh,
her.
it was
the
it
one
was
after that.
It was the one girl. She black hair. She was teamed up with crazy stupid redhead bitch. And
Oh, Aurora. Right.
yeah,
Her.
Aurora. Yeah, they teamed up together, and then Aurora killed her when she was done with her.
Right.
Yes.
That was it.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah, I forgot the whole reason she was daggered. Like, that mark completely
It
slipped
was
my
to
mind.
stop her from going insane.
Right, it was to
I
stop
couldn't
her from
remember the
going
mark. It was the other way around for me. You remembered the mark but couldn't remember why she got daggered, and I couldn't remember why she got marked. Or I couldn't remember about the mark, but I knew why she got daggered.
But quick, tiny rewind here. You know, Marcel wakes up, he visits Davina's grave, and Vincent basically tells him, "Don't fuck up."
Mm-hmm.
That's
Don't
really
be
the
Klaus.
summary of that whole scene. Don't
Don't
be
be
a putz.
Klaus.
Don't be Klaus. Do not fuck this up. Well, he's in there making a great deal of not fucking this up until Rebecca shows up, and he just...
No, he fucked up before he even
fucked up
got
for that.
there.
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
He went into his gym and he
I was going to
ripped
bring the gym up later.
Strix right
but-
apart, left it open, and then
He murdered every single one of the Strix.
murdered
Right.
every single one of them. And then Kinney got into the mix of it and he got hurt.
I guess we'll
He
talk about
fucked
that
up before he walked into... Before Vincent even told him. He did all that before Vincent even told him.
It's good to know that Kinney knows about werewolves and vampires too, because the last we left him off, we didn't quite know where Kinney stood, only that he knew what was going on with the witches.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to know he's now immersed in the whole supernatural universe.
So
well,
now,
at least
instead
the
of-
immediate supernatural universe.
They replaced Kinney with Cammy with... Or Kinney with Cammy. Like, I mean... Or the other way around. I mean,
Cammy with
Cammy's
Kimmy.
gone. Now they have Kinney. Like, he's the
I'm
token
not
human
going to
character.
start hanging a poster of Kinney above my bed.
My.
Wow.
Kinney, Cammy...
can't
kinda
replace
sound the
Cammy.
same.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Kidding, there's no poster of Cammy above my bed.
So yeah, basically he did fuck up then. Anyway, my whole thing with, because we weren't that wasn't revealed to us until later. So to us watching, this was his first fuck up because you're here to exterminate all of the Mikealsons, all of them,
Including Rebecca.
Yes, thank you. That if you're gonna go through with all of it, you cannot leave one of them alive.
Well, he was gonna.
He had no intention of even, laying a hand on her at all.
Well, she was already doomed. This is
True.
before the... was this... No, this wasn't. This was... She was already sick. The mark was going to make her insane and tear her soul apart. She would have died. So he didn't have to do anything.
Mm-hmm.
So he didn't fuck up. She was already done for.
He wouldn't have done it anyway.
He wouldn't have done it. He's still part of him still loved her.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. But, I mean, part of him still loves Klaus, too, but... What the fuck?
Yeah.
It's different. Rebecca's never done anything against him.
Right. Well,
I want to say she has, and we just...
Yeah, I don't want to say never, but it's not been as big
Right.
as what the rest of the Mikealsons have done.
mm-hmm, exactly. So, plan time. I basically Rebecca saved all their bacon. Initially. Because if not
What
for her...
delicious bacon that
What
was.
delicious bacon indeed.
I want some bacon.
She basically gets Marcel to agree to give Klaus a trial. Now, any idiot could realize how that trial was going to end, regardless of what happened. They were all going to call for Klaus's head, even if he made the most compelling argument possible.
I knew what the outcome of that was before they even walked in there. I knew that they were not going to kill him, and that was the whole plan.
Yes, they had a plan to do something to not get Klaus killed, which
Especially when Rebecca turned on Klaus.
mhm.
I was like, bitch, I know what you're up to. Marcel should see through this.
But he didn't.
The whole death is too good for him. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Marcel was too blinded by his revenge boner that he had going on that he couldn't see he was getting played. And then Klaus's whole speech riling everybody in the place up, pissing them off to the point where, yeah, you know what, you're right, death is too good for him. So.
See, now the end of the finale for me would have been great if he was like, yeah, and then he goes and bricks him off, and he goes, just for good measure, and then bites him. That would have been a finale. I would have been shocked, awed, and been like, what the fuck is happening? That would have been the ending of a finale for me. This one was just kind of like, okay, this will be an interesting next season, but I'm not like, oh my god, I have to watch the next season now, which wasn't really the ending of season 2, right? That was the ending of season 1. It wasn't the ending of season 2. But I don't know. It seems like a lot of shows lately are doing the reverse. Like a couple years ago and everything, all shows were like, oh my god, major cliffhanger. Like look at the very finale of the first Vampire Diaries season when we first meet Catherine for the very first time, and you're like, what? And you're just like, oh my god, I have to watch the next season now. And I anybody who's interested in this universe or think, I always say, no, you gotta watch the Vampire Diaries. It's got a really stupid name, but watch it. You're gonna love it. If you can watch all the way through Vampire Diaries and you get to that finale and you're like, I don't want to watch the next episode, you're not gonna enjoy the show. So stop watching. Everybody that does it has to watch, and they keep going and going and going. And before they know it, they're on the originals and they're all caught up. It just happens. But if the first season of the Vampire Diaries ended with some guy getting bricked up into a wall and everybody's living in a happy fairy tale land in their head, I wouldn't be like, if you watch the next episode and you're like, well, I have to watch the next. They wouldn't do that. Nobody'd be like, oh my god, I have to watch season 4 now. It's just kind of like a slow burn. Yes, it'll be interesting. Ooh, I kind of like the implications of it all. But I'm not dying to see it. I'm not foaming at the mouth wanting more.
I'm somewhat with you on that one.
But
like, I liked the ending.
That seems to be a trend of the season finales of the series
things
that are ending this, like, around this time. They all seem to be slow burn, but leave you with an interesting twist. Nothing like, oh my god, I have to see what happens next.
Yeah.
It almost felt like the show could end right now and it would be okay. That's what it kind of felt like.
It kind of does,
and it kind of worries me because they left it in a state like that.
We already know
they're
all picked up, so we already know. So there's no worry in that case.
Well, here's the interesting thing.
What it felt like.
Here's the interesting thing. It's been picked up, yes, but it's not on the schedule for next fall.
No, it's an off season.
This is not a fall show anymore. Coming into this year, this is going to be a mid-season show. So we're going to pick this show up in late December, early January. That's when originals is going to start. So I'm hoping it's still going to be a 22, 23 episode show. 22 episode show, but we might only get a 12 episode show, and that's going to be kind of scary if that's the case.
I mean, sometimes the 12 episode format works really well. So, I mean, I'm not concerned about that. I'm just concerned that, like, because it's not airing side by side with Vampire Diaries, that the consistencies of the storylines, yes, Vampire Diaries was all over the place with flash forwards, flashbacks, all this stuff, time jump, and the originals was not. But I think they're going to catch up at this by the end. But then are they going to have to catch up even more because there's going to be almost a whole half a season of Vampire Diaries before the originals airs again?
Yeah,
I have no idea, but
I mean, because it could now pick up 3 years later. The Vampire Diaries is 3 years later right now from the originals. Yeah. It could pick up where next season on the Vampire Diaries, we have Haley really close to, like, finding all the werewolf cures, and she's, asking for help, or she's in the Vampire Diaries doing something to get that last piece. And then when she gets it, she goes, and there we go. There's the start of the originals now. I mean, there's stuff that they could do to kind of build up our hope. So just because it's offset a little bit, I think it could still work, and it leaves a
That-
little more time for scheduling and stuff.
That's kind of interesting because I would love to see the twins and Hope kind of getting their witchy stuff on. Because they're going to be about the same age. Hope's a little bit older, just by a teensy bit.
Just get the kids from Caroline and Alaric to come over and suck up the venom from uh, what's his name?
Cole and Elijah.
Yeah, them. Do it.
I mean,
We've seen we've seen Kai do that. We've seen him in drain werewolf stuff
Venom
with
before,
magic.
yeah.
Yeah. They can do it. Siphoners
And
can do that. Heretics can do it. Whatever.
the
Do it.
combination of Hope's healing powers.
Yeah. There's your solution right there,
There
Haley.
is your solution, Haley. But you also got to worry about Freya, who is actually poisoned.
Yeah. I mean, the other route that
I
they
think
can
that
go
would
with
be
is
easier to
keep
deal
the Mikealsons on ice for a bit, right? Let's give some other characters some spotlight. They just got rid of their whole cast. This is time to build up a new cast, right? We have Haley, we have a few people. The first 4 episodes, I don't want to go too nuts, but the first 4 episodes could be Haley's adventures traveling the world. Each one is kind of in a different spot. She's looking for
And-
some clues and stuff, and making new friends and whatever, and recruiting people to come back with her. And then we have some side stuff going on with what Marcel's doing in the quarter, and then we still get our original buddies in Dreamland that they could flash over to and see, watch them sip tea and stuff, whatever they fucking do at their
Worst
house.
part is, as awesome as that sounds, they're going to make Haley's little journey a montage. They're going to have the flash to Marcel. They're going to have the flash to the family in Dreamland. And then they're going to flash back to Haley curing them within 2 episodes.
Probably.
The first 2 episodes.
I'm hoping
Even the
not.
first episode.
There's some room, especially with Marcel and all these new, Klaus Sire lined vampires around. There's some time to get some real good character development for unknown characters and build up some, because we need replacements for Cammy. We need replacements for Davina. They don't necessarily have to be witches or vampires or anything like that. They could just be characters. We just
Right.
need more characters in the show right now.
Anyway, they
I think that was actually part of the issue was there was too many characters. And that's why they cut some out. I mean,
It was
Davina
too many
and
because
Cammy
of the
were
Strix.
huge.
It was the Strix and the werewolves, the packs and everything running around. That was too much. But keeping a couple close people, I don't mean every single character has a deep backstory. But if you're taking the Mikealsons out of the picture, there's room for that now.
I'm more interested in what Vincent's going to be doing after. I mean, the
He's gonna
very
be
end.
hosting ceremonies. What do you mean?
I don't know. He threatened. I mean, he threatened.
He's got balls the size of grapefruits.
Because he just walked up to the most powerful thing in New Orleans, with
The
no
world.
way of in the world, with no way of combating him, and just basically said, "You're an asshole." Like,
He knows how to combat Marcel. He
Oh,
just
yeah.
doesn't have the power.
all right,
He knows how to undo that serum. He knows. He just can't because he doesn't have the juice.
right, but he still has gigantic balls because in that exact moment, Marcel could have ripped him in half, and there's nothing he could have done about it.
Vincent gave him the serum, gave him the opportunity to do what he did. And Marcel is kind of good on his word. No, he's not kind of. He is good on his word.
Mm-hmm.
That's one thing you can you can expect from Marcel is that he's not going to go back and fuck you over.
But he is sloppy.
He's slappy.
I think Vincent is more powerful than he leads on.
He's
than
just
we
like Davina. Davina was so powerful. She just needed her confidence, and when she got it, it was too late.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent is the same way. Maybe he's overconfident, is what it is, and
Yeah.
he can't tap into the right side of his power.
No,
And plus,
just
he's
out of-
really cautious because of his wife, his ex-wife.
Out of curiosity, does Marcel not really give a shit about the other sire lines? Like, 'cause he's killing off Elijah and Cole. Cole really doesn't have a big sire line right now. He may be lucky if he has one person, right, at this moment. Finn, obviously, he's gone, as nobody else in his sire line. They died a bunch of times over, same with Cole's. Elijah, all the Strix are dead, yes. That's really all we knew. There was Aya, there was Mohinder, which was Aya's, buddy or whatever, and There's a couple people like that, but outside of that, we don't really know who's part of Marcel's sire line. Klaus's sire line is off the table, right? That doesn't matter anymore, so he's not going to kill himself. But like this is basically going to extinct everything but 1/4 of the vampires in the world, and just the way everything's been leaning, most of the vampires in the world are Klaus's sire line anyway. I'm just going to go with that.
Klaus was the one who was very sire happy though in the days. I don't think
Yeah.
Elijah sired outside of the
Did, and that's
Strix.
where the
Other
Strix
than
came from.
he did that group, and then he kind of sounded like he kind of went away from it because he realized what went wrong there, and he kind of didn't really want to do it anymore.
Right.
The
Outside
thing
of the
is, though,
Strix, I don't
like,
think he turned really anybody. Maybe a few here and there.
it's
Right,
it's a
so-
domino effect with siring.
That too.
Klaus didn't have to sire all of those vampires because they did it for him.
Also,
It's very true, because who sired... Klaus sired whoever that woman was, who sired Catherine. Catherine went off and turned how many? Probably hundreds of fucking vampires.
Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Most of it's Klaus's line, so yeah, I'm probably a majority, so it's not going to be like 1/4 or 1/5 of the vampire line, because
Right.
Rebecca's still around. Keep that in mind.
She won't be
We don't
able
know
to-
how many she's turned, but probably not too many, because Klaus has always kept a close eye on her, as we saw in season 3-ish.
As we
season 3 and
mentioned,
4.
The domino effect. So somebody Elijah turned or somebody Rebecca turned could have gone on a slap happy turning spree.
Could have.
we
But
don't
my
know
point is,
necessarily.
Rebecca, I don't even think has turned many, if at all, because Klaus has always been over her shoulder the whole
She
time.
turned Aurora.
Yeah, but that was very, very early days. I'm talking about after
More
Klaus.
time-
After
more
that,
time
Klaus
for
has been-
Aurora to-
Well, how do we
Yeah.
know how many? Because one, she's not.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's
how
true.
when all of them thought
But
they were them?
what
So
I'm-
how many people did they change themselves?
What I'm getting at is the big question now is, does Marcel have his own sire line?
I mean, that's the question for everybody who was released from Klaus, because they're no longer part of
No.
a line. So are they their own line?
No, but he's an original now.
I
Does he
think
get his own line?
if
Yeah, but wouldn't it only take effect till after he was already changed? So
I
from
am-
here on out.
Yeah, no, I get that. Anybody he's making now. That's what I'm saying.
I would imagine
Guess
if
so.
I would guess so too. Anybody he makes from this point forward, if any at all, would probably be sired to him.
Because that was a question we never really got answered on Vampire Diaries when Alaric was turned into an original, but Alaric was kind of a vampire hunter original like Michael.
Yes.
Wasn't going to really make his own sire line because they hate vampires. So
And I mean,
Right.
if
with Marcel, we might actually get an answer to that question now.
there's that, and we know Haley is her own bloodline as well, but she can't sire anything because she needs doppelganger blood because of her hybrid side. So she can't sire
At
anybody.
least not an original. She's a hybrid.
Yeah,
She's
she
a
just said
hybrid.
that.
You still need
Oh.
the doppelganger blood for that
Yeah.
because it would
No,
still
didn't she do it without the doppelganger blood? I thought she did it through a workaround.
She's never done it.
I don't think she's ever turned anybody.
She's never turned anybody.
No, I'm saying her to become one. Didn't she do it without Elena's blood? I thought she was an exception to that rule.
There
Yeah.
was a ritual going on because she was giving birth and she died in birth, and she was being channeled by the witches because of the baby being some sort of apocalyptic thing, and it was a bunch of magics going on. Yes, she was made a hybrid without the doppelganger blood.
Yeah,
but I'm
okay.
saying
That's
if
what I was asking.
Haley was to make any more, she can't because she does need the blood. So I mean, she's her own line too. So if maybe she can find a workaround. But I mean, like,
That's another question that's really
Well, no,
in
because
limbo.
they called her. What did they call her? They called her something special.
yeah, she was the first one that, since the originals, to have her own bloodline. If she were to create more, she would have a sire line, which made her special.
That's a good question.
It's a lot of good questions and a lot of stuff that really has foggy answers because of all that.
This
But
universe is all about Foggy.
Yeah,
That's
very true.
where the allure comes from.
I like Foggy too. He's a great character. You're welcome. Anyway, the one thing I really, really wanted to talk about is how Klaus has grown as a character since the very first time we met him. Because when we first met him in Vampire Diaries, he was like the megalomaniac, the crazy like supervillain. And here he is in this episode, willingly sacrificing himself so that his family can live.
He's always been sacrificing
Okay,
himself for his family. He
Haley.
may not have gone
Haley.
about it a good way,
I
but
just looked. I just looked real quick. Haley is not her own bloodline. Haley is part of Hope's bloodline.
Oh.
Hope is the
Hope
one
is-
that turned her into a hybrid.
Mm.
So yeah, Haley is Hope's, which is really fucking weird when you think about it. But yeah, that's even more interesting than what we were previously talking about.
So
But
well,
basically,
I
anyway,
mean,
Hope,
it's
Hope
still the
can
same
sire.
thing. That's because Hope hasn't turned. She hasn't died and became a vampire, and she hasn't killed anybody to become a werewolf. She has all of the mixings,
I think
but
she's
she's still a
still.
human.
I think she's still a vampire though.
See, Hope is. They're keeping that one, a nice, lovely air of mystery because, like, we have the most interesting supernatural creature on this show, and she's a toddler.
Yeah.
Like, she's the three-way hybrid, we think. We're not sure. Does she have witch powers? Actually, yes, we do know that. Does she need to feed on blood?
No.
Not yet. If at all. And, she doesn't turn into a wolf at the full moon. Well, she hasn't killed anybody.
Well, being a hybrid, she doesn't necessarily have to have blood.
There is that, too. So,
So.
I want more answers about her. Screw the rest of it.
I mean, if they do the time jump for next season, then we probably will get more answers. She'll
Damn
be
straight.
coming into her powers.
I mean, how old was Haley when she got into the moving truck?
Does it matter?
I mean,
You
not
mean
Haley.
Hope?
Yeah.
2? I think
She
she's
looked
2.
like she looked like she was like 2.
So she'll probably be about 5-6 years old when we come back.
That'll be fun.
Because don't forget, it's going to be 3 years plus a year.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not a full year. Maybe 6 months.
Yeah.
Well, maybe it'll be a full year by the time because we're going to be closer to the winter season than anything. So.
And unless Claire Holt signs back on as a regular character, her curse being difficult to cure, there's their perfect excuse for Rebecca not being around too often.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, they kind of have to get another witch just as powerful as the Strix witches, who were a coven at the point, or tapping into each other's powers. The ancestors are gone, so I mean, like the only other person who could probably get rid of the mark is Bonnie, and she's not really wanting to help people right now,
Yeah.
No.
especially vampires.
No. But that's for another show.
It still ties in.
It does, yeah, right. It does tie in. I'm just curious about what other kind of crossovers we'll get with, a potential time jump coming up and all this other crazy stuff. But I can speculate endlessly on that. I feel like I missed something with this episode.
Really, I mean, Elijah and Cole are on their deathbed. I mean,
So is
Rebecca's
Freya,
still there.
technically.
The whole thing. The whole thing where Freya puts them into their own little like sanctuary. She's like, "Oh, I had to use, Dahlia's spell and link us to Klaus's life force." It's like, I mean, I'm kind of going back to she's using way too much of her power, and she's going to lose her fucking mind eventually, and then she's going to be the big bad.
I don't know. They put a lot. It's a big Hail Mary gamble with that because like Dom said, that would have made the ending if Marcel was just like, good measure, grabbed Klaus's arm and bit him before he finished bricking him up. Like,
Yeah, because then he has the knife, but he's not in the magical stasis that they're in.
Right. If Marcel changes his mind for any reason and kills Klaus, then they have no life force, to bind to. They'll all pop out of that and die from their respective poisons.
I don't know.
That would be the end of the show.
It would be the end of the show. And I don't, like I said, they can't
Yeah.
get rid of Klaus because he's the one that he is the show.
You can't carry the show on with... Oh, no, you can't
So
carry
what
the
did you-
show on with just Marcel, Vincent, and Haley.
Yeah, I mean, they can for a couple episodes here and there, but they
Oh,
need the full cast.
But that's what I wanted to mention
Pretty
before when we were talking about this being a half season. Now I remembered it. Because wasn't this originally supposed to only be a half season show back in season 1?
No,
didn't it get greenlit for a full season by like the 6th or 7th episode?
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
Well, anyway, either way, if the first arc of the first season, with Marcel being the bad and Klaus trying to get back into his home and everything, episode 12 was when that big fight went down and Marcel surrendered initially. So, if you think about it, the first half of season 1, you could have ended a half season there and been perfectly fine with it. So they can do a really good job.
Well, that's what I
Of
said.
doing
You know,
that.
sometimes the short season format really works, and I think the originals can pull it off. It's just that I kind of really like this show, and I don't think I'd be happy with only 12 episodes.
No, I wouldn't either. I do enjoy the show. I mentioned it every other podcast that I enjoy the show more than the Vampire Diaries now. But if it's good storytelling, I will accept the half format.
I don't want to say for sure because they
Yeah.
haven't announced anything. They haven't said, but we know it's starting halfway through. But there's other shows that start, like, look at Legends of Tomorrow, for example, another CW show. It didn't start until the winter season.
Very true.
It only went 16 episodes, but it just ended this last week.
Yeah, they're all ending around the same time.
So
Summer lineup.
So look at it that way. See, imagine if right now we were only on Originals episode 16. That gives us 6 more weeks. That's not that big of a deal if they extended it, over that far. They could still do a full season out of it.
True.
No, I mean it's not gonna be exactly 6 weeks. It's usually around the 3-quarter mark. They start throwing in a week break here and a week break there to extend the season. All those network stupid shenanigans that they do.
Yeah.
But
Gotta
yeah.
show basketball in March, everybody.
What is that? Even a sport?
I was waiting for your reaction because I saw your face as soon as I said basketball. You're just like,
That's on TV?
it's not hockey. It's inferior.
It's true.
I know. I agree.
I'd rather watch curling.
too.
Everybody here would rather watch curling. Curling is one of the most compelling sports you can watch on television, and I mean that with no sarcasm. I don't know why it is, but it is.
It's like shuffleboard on ice. Come on.
It's the sweepies. The sweepers.
I can tell you right now, curling is tough to play. Because if you thought regular ice was slippery, wait till you get on curling ice.
Well, see, did you know that Cole is actually a professional curling player?
You're
That's more
shitty.
reason to keep Cole alive.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's
It's canon.
not.
It's canon. Ask Julie.
Anyway,
You
now
know what?
that
Next
we're...
time I see Julie, I'll ask her, okay?
Okay.
Yeah, if you ever meet Julie Plek, ask, is Cole Mikealson a professional curler?
Next thing you know, she writes it in.
Yeah, there's just a month.
Julie's gonna watch our show, and it's gonna be. You'll see. You're gonna get a flashback of episode 1, Cole.
Just a scene of him
practicing curling.
throwing the rock, like sliding
he'll be
with
practicing it in the dream world or whatever, and he'd be like, "Remember that time where I almost made it into the Olympics?"
My God.
it. No, you got Rebecca hurling the rock while Elijah and Cole sweep the court for her. Anyway, now that we're on curling, is there anything else we want to actually talk about this episode that pertains directly to this episode?
I had so much confidence and optimism that Marcel was gonna be the good guy and be like, nah, I don't need the serum. But the fucker took it before. God damn it.
Revenge boner. They are powerful things.
Can they suck the serum out of his heart now?
It's running throughout his body.
No, it's not. His heart's in the ocean somewhere.
I'm not saying.
He's right.
I didn't even say his heart.
Technically,
The serum is
Technically.
running throughout his body. He died. He
See,
is what he is now.
the-
The heart doesn't even fucking matter.
Yeah, the reason that worked with Aurora because she didn't turn yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
But that's actually that's a very good point.
So he's heartless, is what you're saying.
Yes.
yes.
No. Can if Elijah was thinking about it, could because he wasn't. He didn't know he took it at the time. Could he have taken the serum? They never even thought of. Where's Marcel's heart? Can we use that to reverse the serum?
No.
I mean, you know?
Vincent did a spell that concentrated all of it in one place and then drew it out. So they would have had to have done that again.
Yeah, because, once they took this, it's not like the serum was injected into their heart directly. It was like, I drink it and it goes, it's the same way that, say, you drank a Monster and you got all the taurine and the caffeine and stuff. It works exactly like that. It goes throughout your body, makes you energized, and from head to toe, it's in your body.
And on that note, before Dom tries to ram a can through his rib cage, that's our show.
Oh, I feel good.
Nikki, where can they find you?
God.
They can find me on Twitter at LadyVenom24, LadyVenom24.
Dom, where can they find you aside from the emergency room?
I don't need the emergency room. I just ripped a can of Monster through my chest. You can find me at Phenomenon, PHENOMEDOM.
Do. Someone had to do it. Kim, how about you?
Okay, no, because I just wanted to be like, I'm a little sad that Elijah and Haley finally got stuff going on again, and then what the fuck? Done. Fuck you.
I'm sorry I didn't mention that. Yeah, that was
No.
kind of heartbreaking.
It's true, but I mean, like, it was the finale. Something like that was to be expected because happiness cannot stay and be in this show. Nobody can be fucking happy.
Yeah. Okay, anyway, you can find me also on Twitter at HUFFITY.
You can find me on Twitter at Villagern right here. You can find all of us on Facebook, Twitter, Gmail, Google+, MySpace, and YouTube at ASOTV Podcast. You could follow us at those places for some more podcasts for some of your favorite TV shows, movies, and games. Thank you for watching, everyone.
Mondays are literally the worst night for podcasts. We are so fucking stupid.
You would think about it. It's because this is the 4th podcast of the night. It's currently midnight.